We gon' put your business on display. Yeah, 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 yeah. We gon' put your business on display. I got winners on the way. You know you can't knock the hustle. And if you gotta get in place, and we gon' put your business on display. Grab a seat, we need you for a minute. And if you got the goods, we can talk about your business. She know what it's like to make a move independently. And I don't fake us like that. We've been trusting God like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display.
Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, everyone, wherever you are. To be here. Nisha, Insightful Moments with Nisha. And I'm excited to be here with Nisha's Network, doing what we do every week. And I'm just grateful today to be able to have the opportunity to invite one of my dear sisters through family, not by blood, but through blood of Jesus. And that is none other than, we're just going to dive right in, you guys, none other than the amazing, I called her amazing, Marilyn Alexander. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I can't hear you.
Oh no.
I don't know why. Can't
Can you hear
speak up,
me?
Marilyn.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
No, I
Hello?
cannot hear you. I don't know why. There you are. I can hear you now.
Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
Yes. Well, good morning. How are you this morning?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
Good, 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 good. Well, everybody that doesn't know who you are, I would love for you to introduce your personal self, and then we'll tap into why we're here today.
So I am Marilyn Alexander. I am a wife. I've been married to Joey for 24 years this year. Woohoo! And we have two amazing children. My son Joseph is 22 this year, and my daughter Nichelle will be 16 in August.
Okay, that's awesome. And you're in the Chicagoland area, of course, for
Yes.
those who are everywhere else. Well, listen, everybody, if you are here today, we definitely would like for you to share because we have some exciting information for you today. And I'm just going to dive right into it. But if you're watching, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Marilyn, and to the nichesnetwork.com, as we are going to go ahead and talk to Marilyn, who is our publisher. And I say our because I take it personally, because Marilyn has published 3 books for Wes and myself, and on to the next one, which I've been working diligently on. So I'm very grateful, but I want to talk about today, basically, that it's time to publish, and no better time than the present, that you can register for the authors conference that's coming up. And so I want to talk a little bit about what made you get into publishing first, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the events.
So I started in printing, I guess back in 1992. Wow, that seems like a long time ago. But in 1992, we started printing. And from printing in 2006, so that's a big span. So we were printing for a very long time. Apostle John Eckhart approached me to print essentially two of his books. He had taken a break from publishing and was getting back into it, and so we republished or we published 3 of his books. And so that Marine Demons, Shamar Prophet, and the very first one that we did was Prayers That Routes Demons. And so from there, it opened up the door for us to be able to now publish books for more people. Essentially, we were just printing them. We did cover design and interior, and then we printed. But then as the clientele grew and God opened up that door, the more needs they had, the more God allowed us to do, until we are here today in 2022, almost way many years later, and we are still doing what we do and what now has become a passion of mine.
Yes, and I had the privilege of in the beginning of you launching the authors conference. I remember the excitement sitting at your kitchen table as we were brainstorming. I will never forget that you was like, this has been in my heart for years. I was like, let's go. I'm excited. Let's do this thing. And it's been how many years now?
This is our 8th annual conference. Wow, I cannot believe it's been 8 years.
How many books have you published throughout the years?
So this year, shortly, we will celebrate publishing our 400th author. It
Woo!
is amazing, amazing, amazing. And this year alone, last year we celebrated publishing almost 40 authors, and this year alone, to date, we have 44 authors in house, actively working and ready to get their books out.
That is so wonderful. So if you are listening to this live today, we want you to share. We are going to broadcast this. Feel free to share because the bottom line is that it is destined for you to publish. Now let's talk about the name, Destined to Publish. What really was behind that? What how did God give you that?
Um, I just want to say it was just inspiration. Originally, we had two names essentially. We were published affordably, and for years we were publishaffordably.com. That was our name. And then with the launch of the conference, the Lord gave us to name the conference Destined to Publish. So it was the Destined to Publish Authors Conference. And last year, He gave me to rebrand and bring the education, because essentially the conference is educational. So bring the educational arm and the publishing arm under one banner, which is now Destined to Publish. So it God is He is amazing. I can't tell you there were specifics other than the unction of Holy Spirit just saying this is what you should be doing.
Yes, and I was thinking about this. Both of us are our families are Fred Hammond fans, and I was thinking of the song Destiny.
Destiny.
And the reason I thought about that is because when you are destined for something, it is God ordained and it is time. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a part of the Destined to Publish team. And so one of the things that I want to say is if you guys have not registered for the Destined conference, Destined to Publish conference, it is not too late. So let's talk a little bit about the Destined to Publish conference. And I'm going to put up a graphic while you kind of talk about it just a little bit, Marilyn.
So we are essentially excited. This year, our theme is strategy. It is everything strategy. From our very first speaker, who is Javon Bolden. She is the author of Pray, Hear, Write. And Javon will be talking about strategy, how to connect with your audience, who your audience is, and then helping you to build the strategy of writing your book. From there, we move to Kara Beckham May. And Kara is one of our wonderful, amazing literary coaches. And she is going to literally help people pull their ideas from their minds into their page. So you will be writing. It is not just something where you're coming to a session. You are literally in a working workshop. So by the time you leave from Javon and Kara's session, you will have at least downloaded some information and understood exactly where you want to go with your manuscript. Then we have Kiana McGee. There are so many questions that authors have about copyright and about trademarking and just about the literary process in terms of their legal work. So Kiana is she is an attorney, and her company, Trademark Your Stuff, specifically deals in copyright issues and copyright law. So she is going to be there for 45 minutes answering questions and giving us knowledge about the copyright law as it goes with the Library of Congress. And so from there, we have our branding strategist, Deborah Anthony. And Deborah is just that. She is amazing at showing you how to put your not just your book, but you on display, as Nisha is saying. But essentially, she helps our authors. She will help our authors understand what they need to do to get their book on the Amazon bestsellers list, how you're supposed to be doing it, how to essentially brand your book. And from there, I'm the speaker. So I am going to give everybody all things publishing, answering all kinds of questions about publishing in and of itself, and telling you the steps to publishing, the do's and the do nots. And from there, our other amazing speaker is our own Stephen Crawford, and his book is called Too Stupid to Fail. And essentially, he is going to help our authors understand how to get stuck and how to move forward in their journey of not just publishing and not just writing, but how to move out of a stuck position in order to move forward and make this year the year that you are destined to do publishing, destined to do business, destined.
That's so awesome. And the theme this year is strategy. So you guys look, she has strategized and chosen, handpicked these amazing speakers in order of built a team so that you can have all of the questions answered, and you definitely will be destined to publish. So if you are interested, let's talk about what that looks like, Marilyn.
So authors or writers, authors, and it doesn't matter if you have yet to put pen to paper or if you are your third time author. This conference is specifically designed to give information for everybody. And so we want you to head over to destinedconference.com, destinedconference.com. From there, you'll find all the information on how to register and also more information detailed information about our conference speakers.
Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about before we while we're telling you all go and register, I want to talk about the people that just want to get started. And one of the things that you've inherited or launched is the coaching program. And so that people that what is it from concept
To
to publish. And sometimes people are afraid to say, you know what, I want to write a book, but I don't know where to get started. Talk to us a little bit about the coaching program.
So essentially, we say everybody needs a coach. Scholars have coaches. And so in the writing process, it is really, really a good practice to start with somebody who can hear your heart, understand your vision, and then help you pull those ideas from your head to the page. A literary coach helps you to sculpt your writing concept. They help you to understand your market in terms of where you are going, who you're talking to, and not only that, finding your voice, because often we've read so many things or we've heard so many speakers that everybody else's voices are kind of in our heads. So a literary coach, one of their jobs is to literally help you understand what your voice is and how to reach and connect with the market that you're in. They also help you get unstuck. As first-time authors, a lot of times authors are writing and they go down what we call a rabbit hole and don't know how to get back. Mm-hmm. And so a literary coach is there to say, hey, let's shift the narrative so that you can understand what your focus is. And here, in adding these sequential things, it will help you tell your point without getting stuck.
That's good. That's good. While you were speaking, I was thinking about this as well. You know, people always say, well, who's your target audience? How can people determine who their target audience is? Should they even determine it before they start writing or before they, like how would you, pretty much guide people into saying, this is who your target audience should be?
So when you're thinking about your target audience, you should absolutely narrow your focus. A lot of people say, I am talking to the world. Well, if you're talking to the world, you're essentially not talking to anybody. So what we want people to do is, first of all, understand their concept. And in understanding their concept, when you know your book and you have that book in your head and the theme, you are talking to a specific person. And so we want you to look at that person in your head. Get that person in your head and find them, see who they are. And from seeing who they are, now you're going to talk specifically to them, him or her, and you're going to now describe that person. Hey, what did this person like? Who is this person? So that is your target audience. And that's what we want you to do, to focus your audience, because then if you're talking, if your target audience is children, you need to target your market to children. You need your language is childlike. Your intonations, your writings is childlike. So get that specific person in your mind, and that is the person that you're going to target. And because you're targeting that person like that, then what happens is now you're connecting. because you can connect, you can see that person in your head and you can speak directly to them.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, I know that if you are watching this, it is definitely imperative that you share, but also go and register for the conference. And I want to say this too, because a lot of times people are like, well, you know what, I'm not a writer, or I'm not interested in writing. But I do know that you may know someone that's interested in writing. And then one of the things I want to tap into, we interviewed your daughter, Nichelle, a few months ago, and she is a teen writer, but she was a child first published writer at the age of 9, right? And so
Yes.
the truth is that what about the children? I want you to really kind of speak a little bit to, and I'm not even clear if the authors con well, the authors conference is virtual. First of all,
Yes, it is virtual.
we didn't say that, so it's virtual, so anybody can attend. Okay,
Everybody.
anybody and everybody can attend. But I want to speak a little bit to the people that say, you know what, I'm not a published author, but what made you pay attention to Nichelle and say this gift needs to be developed in terms of her becoming a published author, even at the age of 9, and she's written 4 books. So go ahead and share.
So all parent and kids have projects. They have writing projects in school. Every child, every parent, every mom, every dad has a drawer somewhere with all of their children's writings, short stories. And that's essentially what we started with. Nichelle started writing short stories in kindergarten. And from kindergarten and first grade, those stories, her interest in writing just grew. So the first book is essentially a book of short stories. We took all of her short stories from her kindergarten and first grade year, and we added those into a book that was just short stories. And then from there, as she was writing her short story or finishing her the last story for the short stories book, that story was so long, it was no longer a short story. So here we have a 9-year-old, and at the end of the book, we have 19,000 words, which is incredible for a 9-year-old. And so that story couldn't be in the short stories book because it wasn't a short story. So parents, just pay attention to your child's interest. And I always say a child that writes well, reads well. A child that reads well, writes well. And so as they are developing, you can give them assignments to say, hey, tell me about this character, and have them to describe it in a paper. Nichelle's teacher gave them the story Gluten the cat, which was her cat. And so Gluten started the whole writing process. But kids are interested in writing and they want to express themselves. And writing is a wonderful way to have them to do that.
Yes. And so I'm glad you said that. And it made me also think about that not only kids, but invest in someone else, invest in someone else's future. I know that I've done that. I've paid for several people's conference because I'm sowing seed into what I see is inside of people. But this is something I thought about. Okay. So you said excellent readers are excellent writers and excellent writers are excellent readers. What if you don't like to read, but you still want to publish a book?
So in the adult phase, I think it shifts. I think it shifts because for me, everybody has a story to tell. You have a something that you've overcome. You have knowledge that you can teach, and so with that, it's not even that you might not be a reader because our lives as adults are so busy, but we have enough experience where we can sit down and start to write. Now, let me just say. Writing without a structure, it doesn't work. Essentially, eventually, you're going to get to a point where you're out of your chapter 2 and you're like, okay, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know where I am. So that's why structure is important. And that's why coaching is important so that you can understand what your book is about and how to get you to the destination. If you're driving in a car, there's always a destination. And when you're writing, there is a destination. And along the road as you're driving, there are stops, there are landmarks. And so in your book, there are landmarks to be able to keep you on your journey from the very beginning when you're writing your opening word to the very end as you close your conclusion. So all of that is what writers are going through. And that's whether you, as an adult, whether you're a reader or just want to write. I think anybody can share their story. It's just a matter of how you want to share it because your story might sound the same as somebody else, but it just hasn't been told by you.
That's so good. So listen, you guys, if you are a person who has an idea, if you are a person who has started like tons of journals, I think that you can
Yes.
pull those out and get join destinedtopublish.com or go to the destinedconference.com and register so that you can get started. If you have writer's block and you're stuck, those coaches will help you to get unstuck. And I want to talk a little bit about this, and that is the rebranding. You know, the rebranding of your book. So me and Wes are trying to rebrand our book. So let's talk about that. It has been a difficult process. So what do you feel about people who have had their books? I want to say this, Maryland published 3 of our books, but our very first book, Reboot Your Marriage, which I'm so excited about, in 2020 during the pandemic, I think we sold more copies than we have sold in the history of it being published. But it needs that polished look. It needs a little bit more updated look. And the first book was great. But what do you recommend for people that are books are just sitting on the shelf and they haven't really even done anything with them? And you know, now there's strategies on how to become first what is it, best-selling author,
Bestsellers. It's
you know, on Amazon or New York's bestseller. So what do you have to share in terms of like and recommend for people that are rebranding or
so
developing?
I think that is an excellent thing. I think there are so many people whose message is there. So it's not that God's word is essentially the same yesterday, today, and forever. So if you have that book that's sitting on your shelf and you're looking at it and it didn't do what it was that it was designed to do, take that book off the shelf, read it first, because the message from 5 years ago essentially is not the message for today. So there's some fresh oil and there's some new wine that needs to be put inside that book. But the content, God's word, it remains the same. And that content will touch the reader just as it did on that first day. And now there's so many different things that are open to first time authors or fifth time authors that weren't what wasn't available years ago. So rebranding, take the cover, let's switch that and put a new spin on it, put a 2022 spin on it, and add a different content in the interior and launch that book again. The word is the same, and there are people who are ready and waiting for your voice and to hear that story. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to say second edition, doesn't have to say fifth edition. It is the edition that God has chosen for this time in the season.
Yes. Oh my goodness. We could go on and on. I could talk to Marilyn for hours, not just because she's my sister friend, but because I believe in her vision and it is fruitful. And I want to say one thing that if you're watching this and you popped in just now, you definitely want to go ahead and register for the Destined to Publish, destinedconference.com. This year's theme is strategy, but one of the things is that it's so good to work with someone who has a heart for God, number one, and then also a heart for the people. And I can definitely say that about Marilyn. She God is expanding and broadening her territory, but then also bringing on a team of people that also will see your vision and make it come to life. You can't beat that in this day and time. So I want to bring the graphic up one more time, the advertisement for this year. It is April 23rd, Saturday. It is virtual, you guys. It's a live
Yes.
webinar from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And their speakers are here and present. And you want to register, you can register today. The early registration is over, but you can register today for $99. You can't beat that. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You don't want to miss it. The amazing speakers are all here, and it's time to get this vision published, right?
Absolutely.
So
And
did
Nisha,
you
let me say, if they're registering now, they actually can register for the $89 price because I don't
oh,
think I changed it. So so go do
okay.
it now.
You better do it now. Today is the day to register for $89. Get that discount. And you know what? Even if you can't publish right now, coming
Yes.
to the conference will ignite something inside you to say set some goals to say, okay, I can see, I can plan that next year, this time I'll be published, or in 2024 or 2023, 2024, you will be able to publish. And I want to say this, and I know we have to go, but there's financing available for those who want to publish. You don't have to worry about, oh, just this large bulk sum of money. There is financing available for you to publish your book with destinedtopublish.com. So you guys go on, head on over. Marilyn, I want you to leave us with some last words that you want to leave an impact, because you are definitely impactful. And I don't say that as brag, like just like I'm blowing, like just blowing smoke. No, I'm not. I'm literally saying that this person is the person you guys want to publish with. I'm not exaggerating. Okay. You will be so blessed. Your life will be changed. And we have watched growth in the last years that the Authors Conference has gone on. And now we're all over the world. People are publishing all over the world through destinedtopublish.com. So you want to get in on it and have your name attached to Destined to Publish. Marilyn, your last words.
Thank you. I am amazed. I am grateful for the connection, first of all. And so with that, we're just coming out of a pandemic, and I cannot say it enough. There are so many people who are struggling. There's so many people at the end of where they are, and they are waiting to hear the testimonies. They're waiting to hear the words of encouragement. They're waiting to hear the exhortations that are stuck on the inside of many of our listeners, our viewers. We all know somebody who has said, this is a book that God told me to write. Well, he didn't tell you to write it to have it to sit into your heart and your spirit. He told you to share the book, share that message so that somebody else could be encouraged by it. And now more than ever, there are people who are yearning and really waiting to hear their word of freedom. And just like God brought you through, he is going to share and tell you and teach you how to write so that you can tell that testimony and bring somebody else into freedom. Take somebody else's hands. Your words are the deliverance for the people who are waiting to hear it. And so this year, don't wait, don't stop, whether you're here or not, or whenever you're hearing this visual, this conference, start writing. Get to what you have to do, because you're destined. You're destined for greatness, and somebody else is destined to hear your voice. It doesn't matter if you think your story is old or something else. The story hasn't been told by you, and there is somebody waiting to hear only your voice, and your voice is going to connect with them. So you're destined to publish, and this is your year to do it. And there are readers waiting to hear your voice.
Yes, readers and people who listen to audiobooks. I'm one of those people. So thank you so much for today. You guys go and register for destinedconference.com. Go and register for today. You can get the price for $89, so don't miss out on it. Please share. Join and subscribe to Nisha's Network YouTube channel so you can find out more about the different people that we put on display. I'm just so grateful you came and joined me today, Marilyn. Thank you so much. And it sounds so formal, which I'm really not a formal person with Marilyn. She's my family. But I believe in the vision of this person for sure. You are amazing. And I'm so grateful to God that he allowed our paths to cross. So until next time, hang tight, Marilyn. Until next time, you guys, we will see you on Insightful Moments with Nisha's Network. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, we